The Calamity mod is the most difficult mod you can play Terraria with. Crank the difficulty to death mode, and you're asking for it. It takes some of the best Terraria players to beat this mod, but today, using the help of the Summoner class and some quality of life mods, we push the game to its limit and see how easy it can get. When I'm in, I see a tree, I break it, except this time, we are rained and covered by fruits. Early game is fun. I use the wood gathered to make insta houses, and I'm already blitzing through the earth into its core for loot. During my scavenge, I start off by finding lots of gems and immediately craft a lucky horseshoe for 0 fall damage. I continue mining and find loot such as heart crystals, Hermes boots, and other accessories before heading to the surface and crafting a platinum pickaxe along with its respective armor set. I then set off to the Sky Islands for more loot and find these weird space orbit things, before heading back down to the ground for ice loot in order to craft my first summoner weapon, the Frost Blossom Staff. And then it just gives me this modifier, man. To complete my early game gear, I needed Wolfram, so I headed to the desert and started farming until I got enough for the armor set and summon weapon, and I saw that I could do this. Okay, yeah, you need Wolfram. Yo, that is sick. I thought that the jungle might have some scrumptious loot, but died quite a few times on my way there. But eventually, was able to start my farming session. I'm gonna have to hop back into gamer overdrive and craft the Belladonna staff using said items. I bought some summon potions, built a forest arena, looted in the desert, found a weird water place, crafted my first whip, summoned the goblin army, and I also defeated it. I then used the boots that the goblin gives to craft a pair of frostbark boots and finally began fighting the desert scourge. So after I took down the desert scourge, I headed back to my house and opened my treasure bag only to not get the staff I needed. So I ended up fighting him again, and this time I actually got it. I didn't have much to do, so I thought, why not fight the eye? And it was a really easy fight for me, as I switched between my whip and my Wolfram armor set and used my summons when he got far away from me. My idea was to get the Shield of Cthulhu, but I have a really bad Calamity dash already and didn't want to waste accessory spaces, so I went against it. With the death of the eye, I commenced preparation for Crabulon immediately, as he also gave me an accessory I wanted. So I got to work on an arena, and since there wasn't much to do after I built it, it was time to fight him immediately. And after I ended up beating him with absolute ease as well, I forgot why, but I fought him again. I actually just think I clicked it by accident. I don't know, it's probably the CTE kicking in. After I beat Crabulon for the second time, I thought that I would show the mod I was using to increase minion summons as I beat bosses. Yeah, let me go into detail for a bit, but basically after certain items are unlocked or certain bosses are defeated, I'm capable of upgrading this medallion up on screen right now, and basically it just allows me to get more summons and sentries once those marks are met. Let the video resume. And I also activated death mode because this shit was too easy and it was gonna get harder. I guess at the point I reached, it was more so of a boss rush now because I did all the hard work early on and now could quote unquote reap the rewards, which was, you guessed it, more arena building. It was a regular Terraria boss, but I needed to fight the Eater of Worlds for shadow skills and Demonite so I could actually make some basic progressment and actually unlock stuff. So after yet again demolishing anything put in front of me, I didn't head home, but instead to the weird water place I had found earlier, because I needed to unlock an accessory which I would actually end up using, or I guess upgrading. I needed to look for ghost bells and wait for them to drop a Voltec jelly so I could upgrade my battery, but during my farming session I encountered a mini boss clamshell. I don't actually know his name, I'm just gonna call him Clam, which I quickly dealt with and met a new NPC because of. Oh shoot, never mind, he does damage. Well, it turns out the wiki likes to extend the truth because it was recommending me Slime God gear before the Eater of Worlds. So instead of fighting him, I decided to work on my magic storage, which would help me deal with my clumsy organizing and make stuff nicer. When dawn rolled up, I didn't have much to do once again, so I thought it was a perfect chance to go after the Hivemind. And as I was fighting him, I noticed that his attack patterns and the way you need to fight him is very strange, and despite not dying, but getting very close to it at the end, it was my hardest fight up to date, but yet again, it was still no match for me. I was completely terrified throughout this whole fight. Once it was down, I immediately was fighting with the Queen Bee, and... Please. Please. Please! I reforged all of my stuff and immediately went to go fight her again, and this time, she was no match for me. I'm never getting embarrassed like that. When I got back up, I upgraded to one more minion, mined some hellstone and obsidian so that I could craft hellstone bars and create anything I needed related to them. But before that, I upgraded my magic storage once again, and I crafted a new summon weapon from regular Terraria called the Imp Staff. I also made a new armor set which focused on the number of minions that I could have and needed, and this was just the Wax armor set, another regular Terraria type armor set, as early on the summoner armor for Calamity isn't really that big. I then headed towards the dungeon and began setting up my Skeletron arena at the dungeon, and after I summoned all of my minions and got everything ready, you know what, just watch this in real time. Now I'm either gonna get smoked or get smoked. Okay, he has 4 arms here for some reason. Okay, I never knew that. But I am melting him. No, it is over for him. It is over for you. Okay, never mind, never mind. Don't get too cocky. Oh, shoot. We do too much damage, it doesn't matter. Oh wait, it does. Never mind. That was really easy. After my quick scuffle with Skeletron, I dived headfirst into the dungeon because I was going to need a shadow key for the underworld and the abyss. And after searching for a while, I ended up getting just what I needed. However, at the point I was at, it seemed that Slime God was hiding lots of weapons I could use. So if I wanted to use any of said items, or do anything really, it was going to be now that I fight him. Let's see. Do I think I'm ready? Oh yes. Okay, that just came out of nowhere. From where? What is hitting me? Nothing is hitting me. It's all an illusion. There was nothing that even... Why? So I decided that my arena was gonna need some buffs if I wanted anything there to work. So I went to a nearby NPC and bought absolutely any buff I could get. And so here's how it went. It's just like everywhere I go, I get hit. Now I'm dead. Again. But eventually, I got the attempt that I was looking for. Finally! After the death of Slime God, I quickly crafted items I should have crafted 5 years ago, such as the Molten Pickaxe and the Spinal Tap Whip. I then headed to the dungeon to make a big weapon upgrade, the Eye of Night. I'm not really sure of its name, but it's this thing that's up on screen right now. So I headed to the dungeon in order to obtain a staff dropped by the skeletons. What is sniping me this much? Oh, let's go, we got it. And using it, I was able to craft the Eye of Night. I wasn't sure, however, if it was the best choice of weapon at that stage of the game. So in order to make such a big judgment, I headed towards the sulfuric sea and defeated the acid rain in order to unlock the sea. I headed back home in order to gear up and went for a swim in the burning acid because I wanted the herring staff. During my time down there, I managed to find some random rogue class weapons, but eventually I found a chest and this is what happened. Holy, what? There was a cloud. Yeah, I went back and got it. After some quick tests between both weapons, I decided that the eye staff was better than the herring staff, so I decided that it was going to be a better choice. I also have been ignoring sentries for the biggest part of the game now, and so it's time to beat the old one's army for mana crystals. Not bad at all because my minions did all the work for me. Once down, I headed down because I also needed to begin setting up for, you guessed it, the wall of flesh, baby. That's right, we have nearly beaten everything that we're going to need, and so I blasted platforms all across the layers and we got ready for the fight. After I did some more looting because I could get my hands on some life force potions, which would definitely help in a scuffle against the boss. I then got some more boss arena preps from the NPC, only to learn that you don't actually have to place them, but that their buffs just stack in your inventory. So more money wasted, but we got it back. No worries. I then got more inferno potions and it was time to fight the wall of flesh. And so here's how those attempts went. There's nowhere to go. Okay, but it just hit you no matter what. So after a couple of deaths, I upgraded some more weapons and did some reforging before heading back down to the underworld and upgrading the arena by adding more platforms. And so no, I'm stuck. It's over. Once again, this loss just motivated me, however, to make it super easy to dodge. And so using my incredibly fast mining speed and grit, I mined every block and replaced missing ones along my arena. So here's the first attempt after doing all that. Please. No! But literally one attempt later, I finally got it. So enjoy. This is genuinely the most infuriating part. Got hit by both of them. That is absolutely insane. My summons, like, if I didn't have to be this close, that would be really, really nice. There's no way. There's no way the arena... Yes!